How do you know where to begin in a home makeover? This is a question I get asked all of the time, and obviously there's more than one right answer. In this video, I'm going to go over some of the ways you can figure out where to start in your home and how to cut the overwhelm so that you can begin your home makeover. So if you're new here, my name is Nina Hendrick. I help women create homes that combine comfort and beauty so that they can focus on what truly matters, and that's making meaningful memories with their family and friends. In this video, we're going to talk about where you should begin in your home makeover. When you look at the long list of things that you want to accomplish around your home, I know it can be super overwhelming. You probably want to do all of the things at once, but I want to caution you about this. It's easy to fall into the trap of being so overwhelmed that you give up and then you don't come up with a plan. And suddenly time is flying by and you haven't made any progress and you're just increasingly frustrated. Trust me, I've been there. The key to making progress in anything is following a plan or blueprint. So that's what I've created. But with that said, you still need to know where to begin. Which brings me to point number 1. How do you want your home to feel? This is perhaps the most important question you can answer before you begin your home makeover. When you're planning a project, there are big overall goals and then there's the small tactical goals. A question like, how do you want your home to feel may seem like woo-woo and kind of intangible, but there's actually a real and practical reason why I ask this question first. Without answering this question first, you may end up with results that lack cohesion. Your home overall needs to tell a story, and without answering how you want it to feel, you may end up telling different stories in different rooms, which probably isn't your goal. Maybe you want to subtly tell different stories in different rooms, like maybe you want your primary bedroom to be relaxing, and maybe you want your kitchen to be a nice gathering space, but you don't want to tell such completely different stories that one room seems like it belongs in a different house. So answering the question, how do I want my home to feel, first may actually save you time and money. By answering this question, you're putting everything on the same page and you know that your home will flow correctly and tell a story. In my upcoming Home Goals course, I bring you through exercises that help you determine what I call your meaningful mindset. You have a vision for the experiences you want to have in your home and the feeling you want your family and friends to have as they walk through your door. Getting a really firm grasp on that vision will help you answer this question and get a really good start on your home makeover. So I've already touched on point number 2, and that is to narrow your focus. You cannot do everything at once. I know that this is something I've struggled with, so I'm speaking to myself too here. So how do you know which project to start with and which project to prioritize? Well, is your family drowning in clutter? You might want to start with decluttering and organizing. Do you know your decorating style? That's something else that you need to determine up front, and it's another thing that will make sure that your home tells a cohesive story. Or maybe you already have those things nailed down and you need to figure out one project to focus on to begin your home makeover. And so there are a few things I like to ask myself at this point. Which project would impact your day-to-day life the most? So we lived in our house for a full year before we did any projects. And trust me when I say that was very difficult for me to do. But it's something that Mac insisted on, and he had a really good point. The reason why was because he wanted us to have a really good idea of how we live in our house and how we use our different spaces before we made any changes. I'll admit, one day I got a little bit frustrated. It was like maybe 9 months in. He wanted to do a full year, but I definitely started a little bit sooner than that. And the way he tells it, he got home from work one day and I had taken a hammer to the terracotta tiles in our downstairs powder room. Now, for a little bit of background, this room was orange. It had orange walls with like a gold swirl treatment on them, and then it had kind of travertine terracotta tiles. You felt like you were walking into a furnace, and I had just had enough. So the very first thing I did in this house was I took that hammer to those terracotta tiles, even before we created a cohesive project plan for the renovation. And so that is not the way to start. I'm not recommending that you just go crazy and do that, because then we didn't have a solution for what to do with the bathroom after that. Think about what you're actually going to do. So at the 1-year mark, the project we actually ended up tackling was our pantry. And the reason for that was because it had these sagging fiberboard shelves and we couldn't use it properly. We couldn't reach the back because it was kind of deep and strange, and it just wasn't functioning for us. And so we knew that it impacted us on a day-to-day level. Yes, the powder room was also impacting us, but not quite so drastically as needing a place to store our food. We did end up tackling the powder room second once we had a budget and a plan, but the way that I wanted to jump right in wasn't the answer, and I know that's how a lot of people start. It's born out of a place of frustration rather than actually thinking of those practical steps that you need to take to know where to begin in your home. So where do you start your home makeover? It may be as simple as what I just said, as knowing the place that impacts you the most, and that stands out as where you should probably start. Or it might be a little bit more complicated than that, and there may be a few more questions you need to answer first. I created a fun, free quiz in order to give you a little bit more clarity about where to start in your home. Now, even if there are multiple projects you want to tackle, I recommend sticking with your first result, and you can always come back later to see what the quiz says after you've tackled that one project. And so you'll either get the result of decorating, renovating, or organizing, and it'll tell you where to begin. If you choose to sign up from there, it will trigger a curated content sequence that will help you with further resources for starting your home makeover project. So overall, I hope that this video and this quiz will help give you some clarity on where to begin in your home. I know it can be an overwhelming topic, but there are some really great things you can look at that will give you a good idea of where is best to start. If you enjoyed this video, I would be so grateful if you could give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to follow along with more videos like this, as well as room makeovers, other renovating topics, entertaining, organizing, and just general decorating. I'm so excited that you were here today, and I hope that this was helpful. Here's to small steps that help you tackle your big home goals.